Young Oliver lived in a cottage nestled at the very edge of Whisperwood. Where the ancient trees sighed secrets to the wind, he was a quiet boy, often overlooked, finding his truest companions in the silent stars and the ever-watchful moon each night. He pressed his face against his small attic window, captivated by the silver river of moonlight spilling onto the dewy grass below. It felt alive, warm, and strangely comforting, a luminous friend in the vast darkness. That radiant light seemed to understand his quiet heart in a way the bustling village children never did. He longed for its constant presence, a desire that grew stronger with each passing lonely evening, a wish to hold on to that ethereal beauty just for himself. One particularly clear night, emboldened by a deep yearning, Oliver crept downstairs. He found his grandmother's forgotten, large silver mixing bowl, polished it until it shone like a mirror, and carried it carefully out into the moon-drenched garden. Holding it steady beneath the brightest shaft of moonlight piercing the oak branches, he held his breath slowly. Miraculously, the light seemed to thicken and pool within the bowl's curve. It wasn't reflected light. It felt tangible, like liquid silver, cool and humming with a soft, ancient energy. Oliver's heart hammered against his ribs. He had captured a piece of the moon itself, a wispy, shimmering essence that swirled gently in its silver prison, casting dancing shadows on his awestruck face. Over the next few nights, Oliver worked with fierce determination and trembling hands. He gathered the slenderest, greenest willow branches he could find by the brook, bending them while they were still supple. With painstaking care, he wove them into a delicate dome-shaped cage, just large enough to hold the radiant moonbeam pooled in his bowl. He lined the inside with softest moss and velvety petals, wanting only comfort for his captured light. Finally, with a reverence that made his fingers tremble, he carefully poured the shimmering, liquid moonlight from the bowl into its new, intricate prison. The cage pulsed with a soft, silver radiance, bathing Oliver's room in an otherworldly glow that filled him with both triumph and a strange, fluttering nervousness. For a time, the cage was Oliver's secret treasure. Its light banished the shadows from his small room, creating a haven of soft luminescence. He whispered his dreams and fears to the captive moonbeam, convinced it listened. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, a subtle change occurred. The once vibrant, swirling light within the willow cage began to dim. Its movements became sluggish. Like a tired sigh, the silvery hum faded to a faint, mournful whisper instead of warmth. Oliver began to feel a profound sadness emanating from the trapped essence, a silent plea that echoed in the stillness of his attic room, making his own heart ache with a confusion he couldn't name. The sight of the fading moonbeam became unbearable. Oliver couldn't sleep, haunted by the image of its dwindling light. The gentle sadness radiating from the cage felt like a physical weight on his small chest. He realized, with a sharp pang of guilt that brought hot tears to his eyes, that his beautiful cage wasn't ta home. It was a prison. The moonlight wasn't meant to be owned or confined. Its very nature was to dance freely across the world, to touch the mountaintops and the deepest seas, to grace every leaf and sleeping creature. His desperate love had become a suffocating burden for the very thing he cherished most. He had stolen its freedom, its purpose, its very essence. Tears tracing silvery paths down his cheeks in the dim glow, Oliver knew what he must do. He carried the fragile cage, now holding only a faint, flickering remnant of its former glory, down to the center of the moonlit garden. His hands shook as he fumbled with the delicate latch he had woven so carefully. Taking a deep, shuddering breath filled with sorrow and resolve, he opened the little willow door wide. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the weakened light inside seemed to gather itself with a soft sigh that resonated deep within Oliver's soul. The captured moonbeam flowed out like liquid starlight. It pooled gently onto the dark grass, then rose, growing brighter and stronger with every passing second, forming a shimmering column that stretched joyously upwards. The freed moonbeam didn't vanish instantly. It swirled playfully around Oliver once, twice, a gentle, cool caress against his skin that felt like forgiveness and pure, unbound joy. It filled him with a warmth far deeper than its captive light ever had then. Like a river returning to its source, the radiant column of light soared upwards, merging seamlessly back into the vast, luminous face of the full moon hanging low in the velvet sky. The garden was bathed in its renewed, brilliant glow, brighter and more beautiful than Oliver had ever seen. He stood there, small and silent, gazing up, his heart overflowing with a bittersweet mixture of loss and profound understanding. Oliver never tried to capture the moonlight again, but often, on the clearest nights, when the moon hung full and generous, a single, brilliant shaft of light would find its way through his attic window. It would linger lovingly on his pillow, a warm, silvery pool that felt like a personal greeting, a luminous embrace from a faraway friend. He learned that true love isn't about possession or confinement. It flourishes in the boundless space of freedom, and trust the moonbeam hadn't abandoned him. It had simply returned to its true nature, and in doing so, gifted him with a deeper connection. A silent, everlasting pact written in light across the night sky. He would fall asleep bathed in that free, generous glow, knowing he was cherished not as a keeper, but as a beloved friend.